The shocking reason God struck down Onan, a hidden truth about a forbidden act in the Bible. In the land of Canaan, during the early days of the Israelite tribes, a man named Onan lived under the rule of his father, Judah, one of the 12 sons of Jacob. Onan was the second son, following his older brother Er. Judah, like his father Jacob, was blessed with sons and wealth, but his household was not without troubles, a tragic death and a sacred duty. The firstborn of Judah, was married to a woman named Tamar. However, was described as a wicked man in the sight of God, and as a result, the Lord struck him down, leaving Tamar a widow without children. In the culture of the time, a practice known as levirate marriage was upheld, a custom where a deceased man's brother was expected to marry the widow and produce offspring to continue the dead man's lineage. Judah, following this tradition, called Onan and commanded him to fulfill his duty. Go in to your brother's wife and perform your duty as a brother-in-law to her and raise up offspring for your brother. Genesis 38:8. Onan's rebellion against God's law. Onan, though bound by duty, had a selfish plan. He understood that any child born from this union would not be counted as his, but rather as his deceased brother's heir. This meant that Er's lineage would continue, and Onan's inheritance and status would remain secondary. So instead of fulfilling his obligation, Onan engaged in an act of deceit. Each time he lay with Tamar, he deliberately spilled his seed on the ground, ensuring that she would not conceive. His actions were not merely about avoiding responsibility, they were a direct defiance of God's command, driven by greed and self-interest. God's swift judgment. The Bible states, "But Onan knew that the offspring would not be his, so whenever he went into his brother's wife, he wasted his seed on the ground in order not to give offspring to his brother. But what he did was evil in the sight of the Lord, so he put him to death also." Genesis 38:9-10. Onan's actions were not only a rejection of his duty to his brother, but also a defilement of God's design for family and inheritance. His sin lay in his deliberate obstruction of life, his selfish motives, and his disobedience to God's law. Because of this, God struck him down, just as he had done to his brother The hidden truth about this forbidden act. Throughout history, Onan's story has been interpreted in various ways. Some believe it to be a condemnation of contraception, while others see it as a lesson on obedience, selfishness, and divine justice. The true essence of Onan's sin was his defiance of God's will and his refusal to uphold the sacred duty given to him. His fate serves as a warning that when one acts out of greed and disobedience, divine consequences may follow. Tamar's fate and the continuation of Judah's lineage. After Onan's death, Tamar remained childless. Judah hesitated to give her his youngest son, fearing he too might die. This led Tamar to take matters into her own hands, disguising herself and tricking Judah into unknowingly fathering twins, Perez and Zerah, one of whom, Perez, became an ancestor of King David and ultimately Jesus Christ. Onan's story is a stark reminder that human actions, especially those rooted in deception and selfishness, do not go unnoticed by God. In contrast, Tamar's determination to uphold the family lineage, though unconventional, played a crucial role in biblical history. Final thoughts. Onan's fate was sealed not simply because of a forbidden act, but because he defied God's command and acted out of greed. His story teaches us about the consequences of disobedience and the importance of honoring responsibilities, especially those ordained by divine law. His downfall stands as a powerful lesson in faith, duty, and God's ultimate justice.